Good morning, YouTube friends. It's Dale from Whatever the Weather May Be. I'm up in my studio this morning and I'm just about to put these little tomato seedlings in some bigger pots because they're getting very leggy. So I've got, these are big beef, and these ones over here are better boys. Big beefs are like a beefsteak sized tomato. I've grown these for a few years now, and they're really nice sandwich tomato. Better boys, the first time I've grown them, and they're kind of looking to me very much like the big beef, so I'm thinking that I'm going to have a lot of sandwich tomatoes. I also have some variety called Manitobans. They're a smaller tomato. They're good for, well, they're good for actually canning or eating fresh too. And then I've also got some tiny little sweet cherry tomatoes that I put in every year that I love. Those are just for salads and popping in your mouth when you're out gardening. So I'm going to get on putting these fellows in bigger pots, and I got quite a few more things that are kind of outgrown these starter pots, but for now I'm just going to work on these tomatoes because they're really getting very leggy. So I'm just going to make a few holes in these. I'm just using cups. I've made a hole in the bottom of them. I find these are, for one thing, they're a lot more efficient money-wise, just to use, and I just keep them every year, and I just I'm gonna move this out of my way here. I just reuse them. I wash them very well, bleach them out, and wash them at the end of the year, and they get used year after year. They're really good. So these fellows are going to go way down. Actually, I don't need all that soil. That's all I need is the root. And it's going to go way down to his neck. And I could actually put some more soil in there too. I've had these started in a little mini greenhouse that I have. It's just a shelf with a zippered plastic that goes around it, and these things just have sprouted up in no time at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to repot these, and they're going to stay up here. I have some lights growing other things, so I'm just going to leave these up here. They don't need to be in that hot little greenhouse anymore. And they will do just fine under the lights. They don't need to be cooking. A little bit more soil. I'm not getting these down as far as I'd like to. I'll give them all a good water. These tomatoes have sprouted up in no time at all, really. I can't believe how fast they've popped up. Way you go, fella. Way down in there. It's been a little early maybe to start these. I got a little bit ahead of myself, but with everything that's going on in the world today and our really unspring-like weather, I just needed to plant something, so I planted tomatoes. So they're going to be well ahead of themselves, I'm sure, but that's okay. Come on. Sometimes I do not like these things. There we go. Oops, that one's no good. Get these things out properly. There. These actually have nice roots on them. Down you go. And as usual, I planted way too many. for what I actually need. I actually always grow. I start too many seeds for my own use, but I always end up giving the plants away if I have too many. I don't waste them. I gift them on, which is a good thing to do. There's a nice long root in this one. It's good. Very good. Oops. I got too much soil in here. Here, do it this way. That's the way you do it. So today is the first real day of spring here in Canada. And you would know it by our weather. It's, well, with the wind chill, I think it was something like minus 30 this morning. It's terribly cold. And I had to go out early this morning. I have a little job that I go out to every morning. And I could not believe that it was that cold, and I was not going to be putting on my winter down coat. I just absolutely refused. So I bundled up with about 4 or 5 layers. I was warm, but I was still cold. It is terribly cold. So hopefully that's gonna change very soon. Hoping for much nicer weather next week. Some actual spring-like temperatures so that we can start to believe that maybe spring will be here soon. And the other thing is I'm watching out for robins, because where I live, usually they're here towards the end of March sometimes. The birds are much noisier than they have been outside. They're quite loud, so I'm taking that as a good sign. Maybe I'm a fool, but that's the way it's going to be. These are really got long legs on them. Look at how long these are. It's crazy. Where do you guys think you're going here? So I think I might still plant some paste tomatoes. I have some Amish paste seeds. I think I might plant some of those. Those are good for canning and freezing and stuff for cooking. I think I'm not going to plant a lot because I always end up having far too many tomato plants in my yard. Look at that. That's rubbish. So I think I might plant a few of those, but other than that, I think I'm going to just stop at what I've got, because I don't want to have such a glut as I have had other years. That's a long one. These were downstairs in that greenhouse in the south-facing window, and they germinated in less than a week and have just been growing insanely down there. So it's worked out really well. 2 more to go. Am I out of soil? Not quite. Down here. Very robust. Love this time of year. I absolutely cannot wait to get outside and be in the garden and do all the work that's out there in spring, and which is so much work, but it doesn't feel like work after being cooped up indoors all winter. And of course now, with all the social distancing and things that are going on due to the COVID-19, the garden is going to be a wonderful place to be able to go to, I think. I need some more soil. I think that's going to be a game changer for a lot of people who feel very trapped indoors right at the moment. Plant a garden, then you'll be able to be outside, enjoying your fruits of your labor, and you'll be able to grow some food, not have to rely so much on the grocery stores, which I think is always a good thing. This guy's not cooperating at all. Come on, go down there. There we go. There will be people who will be freaking out on how much I'm touching the stem and things like that. And you know, to each his own. I watched my father garden for 50 years. He touched every part of the stem. He never lost a plant. And I've gardened, well, I'm 64 and I've been gardening all my life and I've never lost a plant once I've planted it. So whatever. There's right ways and there's right ways, and we all do things our own way. So I've got 5 and 5 because I messed up one. So these 5 are better boys. And these 5 are big beef. And they shall grow on. I have to give them a drink of water. And that job is done. I'll be back with some more jobs.